You're using Elytra and fireworks wrong, and it's probably gotten you killed more than once. It's a story every Minecraft player knows. You beat the Ender Dragon, you explore the end cities, you find that incredible flying ship, and you finally claim your prize, the Elytra. You feel like you own the sky, but then you take your first flight. You spam your rockets, desperately trying to stay airborne, only to stall out, fall, and leave a human-shaped crater in the ground. Or maybe you run out of rockets 1,000 blocks from home over a massive ocean and forced to do the long, slow swim of shame. Here's the thing. Most players make one crucial mistake that wastes rockets and leads to a sudden, messy stop. It's a complete misunderstanding of how flight in Minecraft actually works. You spend all that time getting your Elytra, only to end up right back at your spawn screen because of one simple error. But today, I'm going to show you exactly what that mistake is and how to fix it so you can fly further and faster than you ever thought possible. We're going to turn those clumsy, expensive flights into graceful, efficient, and honestly, breathtaking experience. Alright, let's be honest. Does this look familiar? You jump off a high place, pop open your wings, and point your camera somewhere between the horizon and the sky. The moment you start losing a little bit of height, you start firing off rockets. You're just fighting to stay in the sky, spamming your mouse like your life depends on it, which, to be fair, it does. You watch your rocket count just melt away, hear that constant whoosh of gunpowder, and feel like you're brute forcing your way through the air. This is the single biggest mistake, holding a constant shallow angle and spamming rockets to stay up. It feels like it should work, right? You want to go up, so you point up and push yourself up. But you're actively fighting against the game's mechanics instead of using them. Every rocket you fire this way gives you a short, weak burst of speed that disappears almost instantly. You're not going to gain any real momentum, you're just delaying the inevitable fall, one expensive firework at a time. Section 2. Understanding Minecraft's hidden flight physics. So, why is that method so wrong? It all comes down to two words, speed and momentum. When you're flying with an Elytra in Minecraft, speed is your most valuable resource, more valuable than rockets in your hotbar. Your goal isn't just to stay in the air, your goal is to maintain speed. When you have speed, you have options. You can turn that speed into height, or you can use it to glide enormous distances. When you lose speed, you stall. And when you stall, you fail. Think of it like being on a swing set. You don't get higher by just kicking your legs like crazy. You get higher by pumping at just the right moments, tucking in on the downswing to gain speed, and leaning back on the upswing to use that speed to go higher. Elytras work in the exact same way. Diving builds momentum and pulling up converts that momentum into height and distance. The mistake of holding a steady upward angle and spamming rockets is like trying to use a swing by only kicking at the very top of the arc. You have no speed, so your kicks do almost nothing. To fly like a pro, you have to stop thinking of rockets as your engine. They're not. They're a booster used only to multiply your momentum once you've built it. The sky itself and gravity are your real engine. You just have to learn how to use them. Section 3. The pro technique. The 440 rule. This brings us to the solution, the technique that separates the beginners from the pros. I call it the 40-40 rule, but you might have heard it called dolphin diving. This is the secret to flying incredible distances on just a handful of rockets. It's a simple rhythm. Dive to build speed, then climb to use that speed. Here's how you do it. First, the dive. After you jump and open your wings, point your camera down. The sweet spot is about 40 degrees below the horizon. If you have the F3 debug screen on, you can actually watch the facing pitch value. As you dive, you'll see your speed on the HUD climb rapidly. You're literally turning your height into pure speed. You're now a missile loaded with momentum. Second, the climb. Once you've built up all that speed, smoothly pull your mouse up. Don't jerk it or you'll stall. You want to aim to pull up about 40 degrees above the horizon. Just watch as your momentum carries you up way higher and faster than a single rocket could ever from a dead stop. You just use gravity as your engine. Now, and only now, do we use a firework. The perfect time to use a firework is at the peak of your speed, which is right at the bottom of your dive as you start to pull up. A single rocket fired at this exact moment doesn't just push you, it multiplies your already insane momentum, slingshotting you forwards and upwards with incredible force. The difference is night and day. While the old way might get you a few hundred blocks per rocket, one well-timed rocket using this dive technique can carry you over 1,000. You fly further, faster, and use a fraction of the rockets. Get used to the rhythm, dive down to 40, pull up to 40, and pop a single firework at the bottom of the arc when you need a boost. It will feel weird at first, this short wave like motion, but once you get the hang of it, you'll never go back. Section 4. Mastering the takeoff. This is all great when you're jumping off a mountain, but what about when you're taking off from flat ground? This is another sport where players waste a ton of rockets just trying to blast themselves straight up. The same rule applies here. You need momentum. To take off from the ground efficiently, you don't fight gravity. You need a little forward motion first. Start with a running jump and double tap spacebar to activate the Elytra just as you start to fall. The moment your wings pop open, aim your camera slightly up and immediately fire one rocket. This is just to get you off the ground and start moving forward. But here's the key. Don't keep pointing up. As soon as that first rocket gets you about 10 or 15 blocks in the air, immediately push forwards into a shallow dive. You'll start in the 40-40 roll from the get-go. Use that little bit of height to build your first bit of speed, and as soon as you pull up out of a mini dive, fire your first rocket. That second rocket, boosted by the speed of your dive, will send you soaring. From there, you're in the rhythm. Dive, climb, boost. With a little practice, you can get into a stable, efficient flight from flat ground using 2 or 3 rockets tops. Think about the 5 or 6 you might have been using before. The saving really adds up. Section 5. Choosing your fuel and staying safe. Now that you're flying like a pro, let's make sure you're using the right fuel. Not all firework rockets are the same, and using the wrong kind is wasteful at best and deadly at worst. When you craft fireworks, you can use 1, 2, or 3 gunpowder. This changes the flight duration. A common mistake is thinking that duration-free rockets are the best for flying. While they give you a huge kick, they're usually overkill and a waste of resources. For day-to-day travel with the 40-40 technique, flight duration 1 rockets, just 1 gunpowder and 1 paper are easily the most efficient. They give you the perfect nudge to boost your momentum without wasting gunpowder. Save the big duration-free rockets for emergencies, like when you need to go straight up fast. More importantly, there's one type of rocket you should never use whilst flying. If you add a firework starter to the recipe, the rocket will create a pretty explosion. Great for parties, but if you use one whilst flying, the explosion will damage you mid-air. Finally, a quick word on maintenance. Your Elytra has durability. The best thing you can do is get mending and unbreaking free on it. Unbreaking makes it last way longer, and mending will let it repair itself with any experience orbs you pick up. Keep an eye on that little durability bar, and maybe carry some phantom membranes and an anvil for emergency repairs on those extra long trips. The Elytra is one of the best items in Minecraft, but only if you know how to use it right. So stop fighting the sky, stop pointing your nose up, spamming rockets, wasting resources until you inevitably fall. The secret to mastery is simple. Dive to build speed, then pull up to turn that speed into height and distance. Use your rockets as a well-timed booster, not as a crutch. Embrace the rhythm of the sky and you'll completely change how you fly. You won't just be flying, you'll be soaring. If this guide helped you finally master your Elytra, do me a favour, hit that like button. It makes a huge difference for the channel. And for my question of the day, let me know in the comments about your worst, funniest, or most frustrating Elytra crashes. I can't wait to read those stories. Subscribe for more guides that will change the way you play Minecraft, and fly safe. Toodles!